Good morning, guys. How is everybody out there? It's been over a week, I think, and the last couple of days, well, since yesterday, I've been getting, the itch or the push, the nudge to get out and speak my piece again, once again. And as I sit here and look out my window and look down on the view of Salida and the mountain range, they're hitting us with chemtrails again. And I know I did a video before about going out and how we can disperse these chemtrails. And it was funny because when I started talking about this, I started hearing about other people who are doing the same thing, getting the same results. And it's kind of like, you don't see any pregnant women until you yourself are pregnant. And it's just confirmation about how we limit ourselves. We talk about these ascension times and the events and our ascension symptoms and how we're coming into this, but we are still limiting who we are. We're still limiting our abilities. We're still stuck in that 3D box. And, many of us, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying a lot of us, and I'm guilty. Once in a while, I am dragged, there's so many different layers of, densities or dimensions, it's not just fourth and then fifth, there's layers in between, because it's frequency, it's energy, it's not just this physicality. So many of us are on these different, it's not just, what do we say, black and white. There's all these 50 shades of gray in between. So we're all experiencing something different. And sometimes we get caught up in listening to somebody else, and they might be on lower wavelength of that dimension or density, and they tend to bring us down. And I listened to him last summer, and I just was kind of like, not on the same wavelength. And for some reason, this weekend, I was just kind of curious to see where he was at. And it was Kent Dunn. And he's talking about dreaming, everybody dreaming their reality in their own worlds. And he's talking about his world. And his dream world is cornfields and pastures with beef cows and farmers and tractors and the like. And I'm thinking, this man is still limited as far as what he can imagine or what he can manifest. He's still imagining what is already here. It's still the same. It's much of the same thing. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, if he's thinking cornfields and cows, he's still thinking of that same 3D kind of food source, and he just can't seem to get much further than that. And so it got me thinking about all of us, how we do limit. And and it's like that's what I've been doing since the late 80s. It's reimagining myself, and trying to become who I think I am, or who I see myself becoming. It's like embodying that and pushing forward for something more, striving for something more, always striving for something more, something better, something different, and always looking outside the box. And it's really interesting because when I started on my path, I just had this really weird connection with the Gypsy culture, and doing a lot of my herbal certificate studies at the time, and doing a lot of my journeying that the Gypsies do, journeying and getting to know my plant allies. There was always this guide that was always in the background, and finally she just kept coming forward and more forward, and to me she was like a Gypsy wise woman. And so I really, really got into the gypsy culture, and I decided to embody that. Because to me, the gypsy is a free spirit, and loving the land, living with the land. You know, when I go out and feed my horses, I just say, God, you are so lucky. You know what weather is coming before I even have to look on the Weather Channel, because you're out here, you got your feet planted on Gaia, and you're communicating with her and all your friends, the birds and the trees, and how lucky you are that you're still out there. I wish I could be like that. I wish I could be out in the gypsy caravans again. And um, um, so I was coming outside of the box, and I had no idea. I didn't have any association with gypsy culture or nothing like that. My family never talked about it. Nobody else talked about it. But so I was doing a lot of fairs and things, and I would talk to my dad about it. And, he didn't really understand a lot of the stuff that I did. But finally, I started telling him about this woman that was guiding me, this gypsy type wise woman that was guiding me. And he slowly started to divulge some of the information of his heritage, and come to find out, he is my family on his side came from Bohemia, and they came because of the persecution. And his grandmother was a wise woman, and she was a midwife and an herbalist, and she could speak 6 different languages. And so I realized it was her that I was connected with. And I think she, excuse me, I think she died before I was born. So here I am. Okay, because I jumped out of the box, and even though I had no association with it, and I had no clue, I didn't know anything about it, I still decided to go there. And so this is Sacred Hoop magazine. This was published quite a few years ago. And I actually was published, that I'm a writer, one of the things that I do. And so I did. I jumped out of the box, and I said, you know what? I want to write an article for this Sacred Hoop magazine. And I know I can do this. I'm not going to limit myself. There's just so much that I came here to do, and I'm going to do it. So this is my story, Return of the Shivani. And there's my horses. These were the catalysts of a lot of my journey and awakening, and helping me. The horse teaches us about all possibilities of the world. And without the horse, I would have checked out years ago. I just would not be here anymore. And I owe it to the horse. And so because of the horse, I stopped. I just kept living outside of the box, and not limiting myself like Mr. Kent Dunn as far as what kind of world. I mean, really, if we had the possibility of creating the world that we wanted, wouldn't it be much more than the cows and the cornfields? I mean, we don't know what we don't know. And, I think about that all the time. We just don't know what we don't know. We have just a small glimpse of what's really out there. And, when we go to the movies and see some of these movies, and we're just like, wow, it's like, oh my gosh, where do these people come up with this stuff? It's because they are not limited by society's perception of how the world should be, and you shouldn't think outside the box, and you should only think this way, and you should only think that way, and there's only one God, and so. And another thing that I thought really interesting that it is very limiting is the search for the soulmate. We're looking for something else to complete us. we're looking for my other half, my better half. And we're feeling this separation, and Hollywood really plays upon this separation. You know, we have to find our true love, our soulmate, and you know, and even the book world, because I write, I know all about the romance world and these books, and you know, the woman is always looking for the perfect man, and how the journey is, and you know what the journey was all about, and in the end they live happily ever after for the most part, and then everybody's happy. Yeah, or maybe they need to go back maybe another 2 years after that and see if they're really still happy, because there's, for me, I've never ever believed there was a soulmate out there for me. I never once fell into that psyops that I needed someone else to complete me. And really, the separation is us being here in this third dimensional world, separated from our multi-dimensional selves, separated from our fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, and on up selves, as we're always looking for. And that's another thing. You know, sometimes I wonder, it's like, oh, you know, we come here and we know we're going to be separated. We come here and we're like separated from the divine, and all we want to do is reconnect with the divine. The whole thing is all about getting reconnected back to the divine. And I'm thinking that itself is limiting, you know. I mean, because there's all different scenarios that we could imagine and live, and once again, here we go. You know, I don't know what I don't know. I mean, every thought that we think, are we creating another paradigm? You know, every time we think, oh, gee, I would have liked to be that, do we create another paradigm? And part of us is actually doing that. I mean, we talk about that all the time, but it's so hard to integrate in. And it's, you know, it's so hard when we're here to go, God, you know, I don't know. How can I be more than just this? I can't even take care of this and worry about all the rest of it, you know? And so, you know, right now there's so much going on. You guys feel it. I feel it. It's like I had to take a week off. It was like, whoa. It was all about just working on myself. And, you know, we have to stop looking outside of ourselves. We have to stop looking for somebody else to give us that definitive information, because there is no definitive information. There's just too many scenarios, and we're constantly creating and changing, and we're on this timeline and we're on that timeline, and you know, so you know, we're always looking for that person to give us that one word or one sentence or paragraph that's going to totally change us into who we think we are trying to become, and that in itself is limiting. And so we have to stop that. And I like to listen to other people, because like I said before, they trigger me, which is good, because they'll say something and then it'll trigger something in me that is totally different from what they said. But one of the words triggered something inside of me, some really deep knowing that I was able to bring up, and, or, you know, helping you to purge some stuff out. And I guess that's why I like to do this. You know, it's like, I'm not going to do these anymore. You know, I don't really have anything that anybody wants to say. And I don't really, you know, who am I, you know? But it's weird. It's like this outside force is saying, no, you got to keep doing this. You got to keep doing this, you know? And it's like, well, who am I going to save? And it's like, you don't need to save everybody. You just need to save one at a time, you know? And it's like my husband used to say when I bring all these animals home, you can't save all these horses, you know, we're going to go broke, but you can save one at a time, you know? So, but really with everything that's going on, we have to now, it's so important now for us to really start thinking outside the box. And once again, you know, going into our heart center, that's where it's at. You know, if we can sit down and connect with our heart center and with the intuitiveness of our heart center, and just let the information come in and let the knowing come in, we can start to recreate the world that we want. And I tell you what, guys, my world is going to have unicorns and dragons, and because all of that, yes, all of that is real. It's, it's not fantasy, it's not myth. They're just interdimensional. They're in different dimensions, and I'm looking forward to integrating all of that and the beauty and the color. And so many of us go through this world, and even so many of us who say we're enlightened and we're awake, we drive down the road and we don't even look at the beauty of this planet. And it is sad that the more we look at our planet and the more we acknowledge the beauty, the more beauty we create. I'm all about beauty. I'm all about color. I'm all about bringing it all in, and I'm all about experience what I haven't experienced before. I'm open to all of it. And I just, take, what was that movie, Avatar, and that world he created, and some of that beauty, and it's like, just bring that, but magnify it 100 times, I'm all for it. And so I do that. I'm always outside going, oh, Gaia, you are so beautiful. Look at the trees, look at the mountains, the sun. I'm so grateful for the sun, except for right now, you're being blocked by chemtrails, and I need to go back out and do my thing, and which we do. We have the power, and I said it before in my other videos, we have the power to go out there and, spread our energetic wings, our fire wings. Set up that phoenix that's within all of us. Out of the ashes we rise again, and just incinerate these chemtrails. We're done with this. We're not part of this anymore. My world is not part of this anymore. I have the power to say no more. I have the power to send up the phoenix energies and incinerate and disperse this energies, and ask for the help of the sun. Let's burn these off. No more. We're done with this. They're done. They're sore losers. It doesn't bother us anymore. It's just kind of fun because it's fun to play with them, because I can go out there and do this and then start to watch the skies clear, and I ask for the help of the elementals, because our physical body is made up of all of the elements. And so, I'll talk to the elementals and say, hey, let's get up there and let's clear these out and let's get rid of them, really aggravate the hell out of them. And then one day it was like, I cleared this big area around me, and it's like, yeah, they came back. They actually came back and decided that they were going to spray some more. I thought it was hilarious. So I just went back out there and calmly did my thing again. And before you know it, it's just started pushing them away and pushing them away. And, and I was talking on other chemtrail videos about this is what I do, because a lot of people are really angry and pissed off and just really, putting out the loosh. They're feeding them. And I started saying, well, this is what I do. And it's really interesting because more and more people are saying, I do the same thing. And yes, it is working. So it's about not being limited by who we perceive we are. We are much more than what we are being told, and we are programmed and shut down. We know all about that, blah, blah, blah. But it's time for us to really live it. We can say it, but do we really believe it? You need to say it and believe it and then do it and become it and integrate it. And before you know it, it's there. It's true. It's like me and my gypsy heritage. It's like, before anybody even told me, I just had this feeling, and even though I didn't think I was, I just like, I'm going to integrate this because I just like that belief system and that culture. And then before you know it, I found out that it was part of my heritage. But it is part of our heritage, guys, to be able to go out there and clear the skies. It is part of who we are. We are much more than who we think we are. And, you know, and if we stop wasting our time and energy on false light programming, you know, that false light demiurge, you know, that's there, that's been put in place just to keep us feeding them, we can just clear out so much of that and really embody who we are and really go out there and do become that superhero that I said before. You know, we are superheroes. Let's get out there and kick some chemtrail ass, right? So yes, we have that ability, and we just have to get out and start it. I know someone emailed me and said, how do you do that? How do you do that? And you just have to get out there and start it and believe it and do it. And it does take work. It takes a little practice because it is helping you grow and let you come out. And you're, you know, it's all intention. You use your intention, but you have to find your way. There is no right, there is no wrong way. You know, so whatever you do when you go out there or whoever you talk to, this is all part of who you are. So you need to start that inner dialogue and bring that out. And every time you go out and do it, be open to any more guidance, and whatever comes out of your mouth is fine. You know, you don't need somebody like me to take you by the hand and go, you know, and say the exact words. We all have the ability to do it. We all know what we want. We just have to find the right words, I guess. We need to find the words that suit us, suit each and every one of us. So let's stop looking for that soulmate, because really all we're trying to do is reconnect all the parts of us, you know, integrating those higher selves of us and connecting to our heart self is how we do that. And the more you connect to your heart self, is the more you are going to integrate all your other selves. And so looking outside of ourselves for some other person is not the way. It is more false light bullshit. And if you think I'm wrong and you still believe, well, then that's where you're at, and you're probably going to be looking for more than one person. And then I'm not saying that there isn't a partner out there in this lifetime that you decided that you were going to do this journey with. But so many of us find that person, and then for some stupid reason, because of the false light crap that's programming us, they end up separating. And so it's time for us to really connect with all of us and who all of our aspects of who we are. And we also are needing to reconnect with this planet, because we chose to come here on this very planet and do this job. And we are part of her, and she's part of us. We're all made of the same elements. And so our disconnection from her has just been a huge disservice. And so many of you, oh, I'm enlightened, you know, but you don't even go out there and say how beautiful Gaia is. You're not connected. You still have a lot of work to do. And I don't know why so many people don't accept this very integral part of what's going on right now. I just don't understand it. Yes, it's all cool. The UFOs and everything are really cool, and they're up there, and yeah, there are families, but you know, we chose to leave those families to come here on this planet to do our jobs. So, you know, while we came down here to do our jobs, we can't pine away for what it is we left behind. We will be back. We will be back, but we got a job that we have to do first. It's so counter. What is it? It's so counteractive. I mean, it wastes our time to be here. We came here to do a job and to grow and whatever it is we came to, but all we do is pine away for our star family. Oh, I just can't wait to go back to our star family. You know, that's delaying the process. You know, so many of us are delaying this process. There's so many delays that have been going on and on and on and on. And, you know, I know you do too, I get frustrated with some of these people. And it's like, man, you know, you don't know you're really delaying the process. But I'll tell you what, I'm still a believer that this time will come and everybody's going to disperse to a different planet or a different dimension and finish out what it is they decide that they want to finish out. I think there's just been way too many delays. And, you know, so many of us were really trying to keep the faith when it's been really hard because, you know, there's just so much stuff that's being thrown at us and we're just being targeted constantly and we're constantly fighting the targeting. And so, yeah, I think with, you know, with the energy waves at the last one that came in around the, what was it, between the 18th and the 20th or something around there. That one was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. That was, I mean, that really knocked a few of us down. And we're going to see more of those. And, you know, these people that can't deal with frequency of what's coming in, the frequency of the changes. I mean, it's like the energies are coming in, you know, the goddess or the divine or whatever. I don't like to use God, because for me, I think of God as this man up on the mountain, and it, you know, and it's singularity, it's only male. So I like to use goddess because it's God and goddess, so it's male and female aspects, and I don't believe that it's just one man up there. So and I lost my train of thought. Damn it, I hate when I do that. But anyways, so we just have to start really integrating and saying, I'm stepping up into where I want to be, and you know, the changes are coming and people are making their choices, and the delays are, you know, the delays are probably because the energies, you know, we have to wait for the goddess and the divine to send those wavelengths, because the divine is finally saying enough is enough. You know, the ones that are doing their work, it's time for them to reap their harvest, you know. And so I'm going to send these energies down, and those who accept it will move on, and those who don't, there's a place for them. And you know, that's what I believe in there. I know there are many others who talk about this, so this isn't nothing new. This is where I stand. And because it is, we all have a choice of how long we want to do this and how long it'll take for us. And the ones that want to take a lot longer, they can take it a lot longer somewhere else. In the meantime, the rest of us have stepped out of that box, and we are going beyond the cornfields and the cows. We are building a much more beautiful, bigger, expansive new world with unicorns. And unicorns are nothing but a higher vibrational horse. And dragons, not the Dracos. I'm talking about the 12th dimension beings that were here from the very beginning, the energetic beings. And it, you know, the Gnostics say that our God and Goddess were like serpent-like beings, but it was energy that came together and created, you know, Earth. But anyways, that's all I want. I didn't want to go this far, but anyways, I needed to get that out. So everybody, it's time for us to live out of the box and really living and being the superhuman that they are trying to suppress. and I got to get out there and disperse some chemtrails. And so anyways, we'll just all talk to you soon. And comment and let me know where you're at on your journey of ascension and what you are creating and the synchronicities that are happening to you and your new powers. And is your telepathy, are you using telepathy, and are you using all your clairs? And so anyways, I gotta go. All right.